it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. We're going to be making a birthday card today for a 90-year-old lady, and we're going to be trying out these new, I think they're called Viviva, I think that's how it's said, Viviva Color Sheets that I got by donating to this man from India who is creating these, and I helped him by donating so that he could get these on the market. But anyway, I thought we would try them out. They're watercolors, and I'm going to be using a stamp set that's from Amuse Studio called Birthday Greetings for the inside of the card with the happy birthday to you. And I'm also using an old stamp set from Stampin Up called Favorite Thoughts, and it says, "Don't treat me any differently than you would a queen." I'm making this for a 90-year-old lady who's very frisky, so she'll get a kick out of that. And I'm going to be using on the front of the card a stamp set from Stampendous, and it is called the Peony Spray. It had the word peony in this weird little, I don't know if you can see that, this weird little scrolly thing around it. I didn't love that, so I cut it off my stamp. It's my stamp, I can cut it off, right? I'm going to make a 5x7 card. I want it to be a little bit bigger just because I think it's kind of a momentous occasion. So I'm going to use some Versamark ink and some white embossing powder, and I'm going to be using my little embossing pouch to cover the card with, because I'm going to stamp it in a couple places. And I'm going to be using clear embossing powder. I could use black, but I prefer to use clear on something like this because it doesn't it's not so vivid if it doesn't show up. Like if with white or with black, you'll see the mistakes, or you'll see the where the embossing powder skips. So I figured I would just live on the edge and just do clear. No, I'm not living on the edge. It's the opposite from living on the edge. So I'm going to stamp it with VersaFine ink, which is a clear ink that you won't be able to see, but it will allow me to stamp my image really well, and then cover it with my clear embossing powder. And I did put my clear embossing powder in this little Ziploc container, and I have a little spoon for in it, but for the purposes today I'm going to use a bigger spoon. And I have my little big spoon right here. I'm just going to dump it on. Everybody told me my system was poor for embossing powder, that I needed to do something like this because I wasn't doing it so that you could see the process as well as other people did it. And so I'm gonna put a couple layers on there just to be sure that I got a good coverage on that corner. I'm gonna just turn it around like this, and we're gonna do the other corner. Well, I better stamp it or heat emboss it first. Let me do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I heat embossed the other one while we went away. That's the second one of those heat guns I've bought that blew on me really quickly after I bought it, so I'm not sure what my little issue is with it, but it doesn't want to play with me. So I thought what I would do is I would go into maybe some of the lighter tones, I might use my other one because this would be my first time of using this, and I haven't used it yet, and so I'm not familiar with the colors. So let me just go grab my regular set that I do know what the colors are like on. And these are by, I think, Niji, Yasutomo, but I think when you look them up, they're called Niji. Spray the palette and trying to hit the ones that I definitely want. You know, like the greens and the pinks and the purples, and just kind of the variety pack. Okay, alright, so I'm going to use this kind of pinky purple as my first color. Okay, so my battery ran up and then my memory card was full and I didn't realize all these things happen, and so I rounded the corners and I just need to clean up this edge just a little bit because it's got a little debris on it, and that's that edge. And then I ran all these through the Xyron. If you're not familiar with the Xyron machine, what it does is it turns things into a sticker. It's a pretty inexpensive tool, and you can get it in all different sizes, but this is what it does. It takes the word happy and makes it so that you can lay them on top of each other, and if you do get a little bit of like sticky goo, that's a technical term, don't question me on that one. If you do get any of that sticky goo, I'll show you how to get rid of that in the end. And then if you have them a little bit off center, you can just push them so that they look good. And then I have the third one here. If when you pick it up, if you can see okay, again, technical term, sticky goo in the layers, you can just kind of pick it out with your pokey tool. Yes, another technical word. My goal here is to end up with 4 layers because I want it to kind of make the card, or make the happy part of the card seem like it's really embellished, or really, yeah. It makes the happy look like it's really a big layer on the card. If you do 3 or 4 layers, or 5 or 6, how many layers you like. You can make a lot if you want. Now that I've done that, here's the part that makes this easy. Now I hope you can see there's some sticky goo in the layers. I'm just going to kind of move my tool around those layers and around the die cut, kind of like you're writing in the die cut. You're going to just kind of go everywhere where you would, where you would write. Now you're going to pull it off, and when you pull it off, you're going to want to make sure you make any last adjustments. If you have one of the layers that's a little bit off, now's the time to play with it. If you have a little of the sticky goo that's still in your way, it's almost like a cobweb, trying to get that out of the places you don't want it. And believe me, I have places I don't want it. Put my happy like that. And because we ran it through the Xyron, the happy should stick down pretty well. The other thing you can do, and this is completely optional, but if you want to, you can take mica powder with a brush. Now remember, this happy has some sticky parts to it yet, and this is just LA Colors eyeshadow from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to rub it over the happy. It's kind of like perfect pearls. It's going to make it nice and pearlized, even though it's just eyeshadow. And then I'm going to just shake off the rest, or blow it off. There. Can you see now it's nice and glittery? I think that looks nice. And then we're going to get our 90. I did the same thing. What I did, oh boy, that's bad. That's not good. That's a problem. I colored my I put my 0 in the Xyron upside down. Looks like we're gonna have to go to Plan B on that, huh? All right. So now I just got to put my 90 on here. I had the other part of the 0. I don't know what happened. It ran amok. It doesn't want to come off of the sticky paper very badly. It didn't really like the whole Xyron experience, is all I'm saying, and it tore part of it off. At least it did on the 9, and then on the 0 it kind of tore the back off. So all in all, it wasn't happy to be there. So I'm going to put the 9 right there and my 0. Well, it's got some issues, but it's better than it was going to be, I think. Okay, now I'm going to put some foam tape on the back, and we'll all start to cheer because I think this is the end of my foam tape. I know what you're thinking. What's she talking about? Well, if you've never watched my channel, I have this foam tape that's a nightmare. I'm not sure where I got it, but every time I think I'm free of it, I find another roll. Look, could be the end. It could be the end of it. See how stupid I am. I'm singing about it. I'm so excited. Is anybody having a party with me? I'm going to have to put some of these fun foam squares on it. And somebody asked me where I found these, and I really think I must have found them at the Dollar Tree, but I can't say that for sure, because I saw these in the automotive section of my Dollar Tree. Now, I don't know if that's normal because it seems kind of an odd place for them, but that's where I found them in mine. I'm just going to kind of throw a bunch of them in the center so that they all stay. Here's my card. I rounded the edges with my Creative Memories corner rounder, and I didn't round the corners on the left side yet. I don't think I'm going to. A lot of people, just round these ones, and that's what I might do. But then again, I don't love it. This is Recollections 110-pound cardstock, and it's a serious cardstock. If you've ever bought it, you know what I'm talking about. It's no laughing matter. I'm going to stick this end in too, just so I get that curve, so I can see the curve, so it'll match up with the rest. I wasn't trying to cut, just trying to have something to follow, basically. If you ever have that happen. I knew I wouldn't be able to cut through that with my paper punch. And then you take your nail file and you just round those edges so that they look better, so they look like a normal person did them instead of some crazy person hacking at it like me. Okay, so that is that much of the card. Now, on the inside, I have "Don't treat me any differently than you would a queen. Happy birthday to you." And I thought I would just put a few sequins or some Stickles, something like that in there. So let me figure out what I want to put in there. They call this color Magenta. Yeah, I like that color. I'm going to do a few dots on the front. If you use these Stickles, you have to remember it takes them a long, long time to dry. So put them somewhere off to the side so that you don't end up getting your hand in them like I normally do. I'm sorry I have to put my hand over this, but it's really the only way I can do this effectively, where I'm trying to put these dots. See, that one is, and I like to, if mine don't round out, I kind of do that, and that seems to round them down. I think that's what I'm going to do for the card for now. Now we're going to get an envelope out and do a little bit of stamping on it. Okay, I'm going to use the hollyhock vine and the dogwood that's large, and this is Melon Mambo, which is a Stampin' Up ink. just making sure that I didn't have any problems with my edges. And I'm just going to kind of go across the back. With those. And then with the hollyhock leaf, I like that hollyhock leaf, it's pretty. I'm going to use some rose red for this flower, and it is a secret. I don't know what this one is. So let me just stamp it in and around these other ones. Huh, the color looks almost the same, doesn't it? Oddly enough. Then we're going to put a few on the front. Those are the dogwoods, and then we'll do some of these mystery ones that I can't remember what they're called because I forgot to write it down, which I normally don't do, but I did this time. And then we're going to put those hollyhock vines in, and I'm using the Magenta Dewdrop bamboo leaves for these. In case I didn't say that before, I do dig this little limb. Missed the end a little bit. And then maybe I'll just put a little going down the side. Then I'm going to take the Stickles, and just on the back part I'm going to just draw in, I just have to get it to go. I'm just going to do the centers of all of these. Maybe I'll do it on the front later. And did I already say the name of this? This is Magenta. I thought I did, but you never know. So there is our card. I just have to put on the back of that, I just need to stamp it with my I Made This For You stamp. Other than that, it's all done. Let me get it back out here so you can see it. Don't forget, we don't want to get it yucky. So there's our card, and the inside, I showed you the inside, I think. I'm going to put some stickles in there as well. One last thing I forgot to put on was my stamp, and there it is. I did add a lot more of the stickles around the 90 and on my flower. I think it really adds a lot to it. And then on the inside, I just colored the, got a little stickle there. I just colored the Happy Birthday to You with the pinker marker. And then on my envelope, I colored it in so it matched better. I thought it really added to it. I hope you enjoyed this. You'll give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Please tell one friend about me on social media, because I'd really love that. I'm talking really low because we have people still sleeping in the house, so I didn't want to wake anyone. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.